Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Technology is revolutionizing multiple industries now as the digital transformation of everything quickly gathers pace. And I've been fortunate enough to have spoken with businesses and CEOs about the rise of healthtech, edtech, fintech, but I wanted to find out more about legal tech. Now, legal technology, also known as legal tech, refers to the use of technology and software to provide legal services. Legal tech companies are generally startups founded with the purpose of disrupting that traditional conservative legal market, which I think is fascinating. So step forward at SimpleLegal, which is a Y Combinator graduate and a cloud-based software solution bringing a data-driven approach to legal departments. And it recently closed a $10 million Series A round led by Emergence Capital. Essentially, SimpleLegal combines e-billing, matter management, automation and advanced reporting to centralize functions and data to streamline and empower legal teams to make those smarter business decisions. But we need to be a little bit quieter now because CEO of SimpleLegal, Nathan Wenzel, has set his alarm for 6 a.m. in the morning in San Francisco just so he can speak with us today about legal tech and also how SimpleLegal is disrupting the legal industry, and we don't want to wake his family up. So buckle up and hold on tight, early risers, because I'm going to beam your ears all the way to San Francisco so we can speak with Nathan Wenzel from SimpleLegal. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Nathan. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be on. I love what you do. My name's Nathan Wenzel. I'm the CEO and one of the two co-founders of SimpleLegal. We build great software for corporate legal departments. My co-founder, Patrick Aldrich, he's the CTO, and he runs the teams building all the software. But in the early days, I actually used to write a fair bit of the code for the application. But at this point now, I pretty much stay out of the code, and my job is really just building a great team and making sure that they have what they need to succeed, and then I spend a lot of time working with our customers.
You recently closed a 10 million Series A round led by Emergence Capital with SimpleLegal, and it's my understanding that it uses advanced reporting to centralize functions and data to streamline and empower legal teams to make smarter business decisions. But can you offer an overview of what problems SimpleLegal solves and also what makes it unique from everything else out there?
Yeah, definitely. So first, we're really excited that Emergence decided to partner with us. They've definitely been great so far since we've closed the round with them. And then specifically, Santiago, he joined our board. We love working with him, and a big part of why we wanted to work with Santi in particular was he had bootstrapped a company prior to becoming a VC. So having operators and not just people from finance were really important to us. And that comes a bit from what Patrick and I had done in the past. We had run a consulting business before in the legal space. So this was kind of dashboard building, data analytics type of software. And so we bring a lot of that to SimpleLegal. And so identifying the problem that we solve today really came from that decade of experience running that firm, working with legal departments at really large companies, Fortune 100, Fortune 500. And so we saw that they had systems that would help them operate their legal department, but not quite in the same way that, say, finance has SAP and Oracle and Workday Financials, not in the same way that, sales has Salesforce to really run that department, and marketing has HubSpot. And so, bringing that to the table, we wanted to give legal the tools to be able to actually operate their department. Because not only are they protecting and growing the company, but they're running a multi-million-dollar department. They need that data. And so we built these tools to be modern. We have an API. And so we can integrate with other tools. We can integrate with their finance systems. We can integrate with their vendors. And then even they'll write, custom applications to integrate with the tools that we have. And everyone says their software is easy to use. But one of the things that Emergence found during their diligence, and this was a thing we already knew, was all of the companies that are on these legacy platforms, they all use the same word to describe their software. They all say it's clunky. And it's kind of weird because we all sort of know what that word means, but I don't know that we use it every day. And so we really wanted to go out and fix that problem, make the software nice and easy to use, and make it available to more companies.
Now, I've spoken to many companies across multiple industries about how technology is revolutionizing their field. So we've got edtech in education, fintech in finance, and healthtech in healthcare. But I'm only just beginning to hear more and more about legal tech. Can you offer an overview of how you see technology making that big impact on the legal industry too, and also the pain points that it's going out to address?
Yeah, that's a great point. I've actually had a chance to talk in the past about how to think about legal tech, and really the idea that there probably isn't really a legal tech. These are all just technology solutions that have been applied in finance, in education, in marketing. So it's not really legal tech. It's just tech, and we happen to be applying it to legal. And I think what's happened is like you mentioned, these other verticals, is as the other horizontals have adopted technology to capture data, they become more quantitative. And so, one of our customers, the general counsel, he had said, sales, marketing, they think and they talk in Excel. So if you ask them how's business, they talk about conversion rates, click-through rates, and HR, they talk about retention rates. But the lawyers, they tend to be more qualitative. They think in Microsoft Word. And so they talk about, well, there's a big litigation over here, and there's an M&A deal over there. And so these other verticals you mentioned, the other horizontals and other people at the leadership table, they've become more quantitative. And so that's really coming to legal, and you're seeing that now. And that's really the main idea that we try to capture, is capture data so that legal can think more quantitatively, just like these other industries and these other departments.
So can I take you back in time now to where you set out to disrupt the legal industry, the very first moment you set out to do that and why you did it? Where did the story behind SimpleLegal actually begin?
Yeah, that's a fun question for me. We started heading down this path maybe 10 years before we started SimpleLegal. My co-founder and I, Patrick and I, we ran a consulting company together, and it was data analytics and dashboard building. So if you bought one of these big BI tools, you needed to do something, you brought in our company, and one of the many, many others that are in the data analytics and dashboard building kind of space. So we just ended up in legal departments. We ended up at these very large finance companies and insurance companies. We worked with legal departments where they had 100 plus lawyers on staff. They would have operations teams of 50 to 100 people. They were spending $500, $700 million a year, and in a couple of cases over $1 billion a year on legal, which sounds like a lot, and it is. But in insurance, you sort of buy and sell litigation. It's just kind of cost of goods sold there. And so we saw the software that was there. We saw that it was clunky. We saw that it was only really available to the really, really large companies. And so we set out to build something that first, was much easier to use, and then didn't require a team of 10, 20, 50 people to just run the department. We wanted to make this software available to a much broader group of companies. And so we set out in 2013. We sold off the parts of the consulting business, and we went through Y Combinator, and that's where we launched SimpleLegal as a software company from that consulting business.
So as a rule, how receptive are lawyers to this widespread technological change, and what kind of feedback are you receiving at SimpleLegal as a result?
Yeah, that's a great question. Lawyers are not always known as being the most tech savvy.
Yeah.
One of our goals really is to get the lawyers out of the software. We think about different groups of our users, and our lawyers, their job really is to protect and grow the company. So we want to get them in and then get them back out as fast as we can. And I think that's a thing they really appreciate. And so when you have technology that enables you to get back to your job and enables you to really get through the parts that you have to go through so you can get back to the things you love doing, they're really receptive to that. Our users, our core users who run the legal operations team, we sort of think about those folks as the MBAs that come in to run the department for the JDs. And so they're in the software every single day. And we definitely spend a lot of time working with them to also help the lawyers really just get back to their jobs. And so the other side, though, is you think about the law firms on that client and vendor, client law firm relationship. Our customer is the client side, but we definitely make software for the law firms to interact with their clients who are our customers. And so just, as an example of how we make things really easy to use for them, with some of the legacy platforms, they have to kind of do these, they need to share files, they might have to upload them sort of one at a time, go through kind of project A, project B, project C. It's a fairly cumbersome process for them. And, we get to take advantage of modern platform. They can literally drag and drop 10, 20, 50 files in one shot. And so we get them through their day much faster. They're one of our constituents, but they're not really our customer. But they really appreciate that. So if you make technology that makes someone's job easier, especially the painful parts, then they're going to be receptive. But if your technology really is just helping more problems come to them, or if you're putting another alert on their phone or another unread message in their queue, then yeah, they're gonna not be really excited about it. So we try to avoid that.
Don't blame you at all. Now, I also believe that you've added several new enhancements to the SimpleLegal platform recently. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that too?
Yeah, definitely. Our software is continuing to evolve, and as a true cloud provider, we get the enhancements into our customers' hands, really quickly and without version upgrades and point upgrades. And you hear about software that's on, version 6, but you're stuck on version 4. As a cloud provider, we don't really have that issue. We get things into our customers' hands quickly. And so, one of the things we added recently are some more advanced workflows. A big part of what we do to help get the lawyers out of the software and to help our legal operations core users really get their or apply their business rules faster is workflows. And so, we've added the ability to really set up, which our larger customers are going to take advantage of, to really set up some intricate workflows of if something's from a particular region, but it's also within this department, and then the dollar amount is over some threshold, and then, it's from any of these list of vendors, you can kind of wind a document through the system in a fairly specific way. And so our larger customers really take advantage of that. And the trick for us is, well, how do we make sure we can scale that down so our smaller customers don't get overwhelmed? We always want to balance flexibility against the ability to apply your specific business rules. Our name is SimpleLegal, and we spend a lot of time and effort staying true to that. And then on the law firm side, we provide a greater ability, and we're always advancing this, a greater ability to help the law firms actually work more closely with their clients and who are our customers. And so, for the customers that have a legal project, the law firm is not really some sort of outsourced provider. They're really an extension of your team. And so building out those tools is something we've got coming in the near term as well.
So what's your vision for the future of SimpleLegal? How do you see that platform evolving? Are you getting feedback in other areas of the industry that you think you can improve as well?
Yeah, currently, we're just really focused on the core business today. And then as we grow, we'll look at other ways that we can help our customers. Again, we've got, a quarter of our users are in the application every single day. And so as we continue to grow, we want to look at, well, what else can we do for them? How else can we help them really do their job and operate the legal department? And so in that way, how can we really become a true platform for the legal department? We like to look at Salesforce as being, not just a CRM. It's really the place where all the sales data comes together. And so we look at legal the same way. We think there's a great opportunity to create that platform to really pull together and centralize all of the data, the finances, the vendors, the documents, the workflows, the people, all of that can come together. We really think that's really what the future of SimpleLegal can be.
So with these disruptive trends creating new business models all the time, how do you see the legal department of the future? Are there any big changes ahead, do you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, legal in general is moving from a more reactive to a proactive type of role. You don't really want to hire a lawyer to fight litigation. You want to hire a lawyer to avoid litigation altogether. And lawyers are thought in sort of the sales circles that when they're working with contract is some people see them as slowing down deals. But really, you can put things in place to help speed up those deals. And so, that movement to a more proactive approach is here. I mean, it's not even coming. You see it in a lot of ways. And a big part of that is another trend, which is legal operations. You see it in sales ops, you see it in marketing ops, and so legal ops is this new trend. It's been around in a kind of a more nascent way, but now there are actual legal operations departments. They report directly into the general counsel, and they're really that strategic partner. And so you have somebody managing technology, managing finances, managing vendors, doing all the things to actually run the department so that the lawyers can really focus in on what they're doing. And generally, both of these trends and really all of the trends in the legal department, you can kind of abstract up a level. And it's this movement from qualitative to quantitative, right? I mean, we've seen this in other departments, marketing, it's not just what color to make your billboard or can you make a fancy, postcard to mail out. It's a quantitative field. HR, sales, every other department has made that shift to become more quantitative. And so in legal, the overall trend, the macro trend, and it's not just legal, it's just legal is the next place for it to go, is really the shift from qualitative to quantitative. And I think that's probably one of the most amazing things. And so when you look at, like you talked about, you're hearing more about legal tech, that's really what's driving it. And so as you evaluate, what trends are going to work and which trends are going to fizzle out, I think if you look at, is this helping the department become more quantitative? Is it helping them have better conversations with the CFO and the CEO? Is it helping them demonstrate their value to the departments in the company? That's really the key to the whole thing that we're really excited about, is that move to a more data-driven approach, which sounds like, if we're talking about sales or marketing, we'd say, well, of course. But legal is just catching up to that quantitative movement.
Yeah, it really is a significant change for the legal industry there. But if we do
it's really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. If we do have anyone listening that works in the legal industry, can you advise how they can get up and running on SimpleLegal? And also, how easy is it to use? How much time will it take to invest just to get it working in a typical law firm too? Yeah,
sure. So, the goal for us is really to be simple. Our customers are the corporate legal department, so they're on the side of sort of the companies, and they'll work with law firms. I mean, some of our customers will work with several hundred and in a couple of cases over 1,000 law firms worldwide. And so with our name being simple, we really have to hold true to that because it's certainly not something we want to change. So to get our smaller customers up and running, we try to scale back our implementation process, make it pretty quick so that it's not, this months and months long thing. You're not trying to implement a giant ERP here, even though this is the system that runs your department. And so we have different components that you can bring back. If you're a large company running in multiple continents with multiple finance systems, then it takes a little bit longer. And so we try to keep the user experience in the software nice and simple, but that winds up taking a lot of work on our end, on the product, to make sure that we can handle multiple countries, finance systems, different types of work, all these other things into the system. So we keep it nice and simple. We're generally a lot faster than the legacy providers. And then, the ability to scale down is what helps us with the smaller customers. A lot of companies only think about scaling up. That's really the wrong way to think about scale. Scale is it's not just one direction. You need to be able to scale up and back down so that your software is easy for everybody.
Fantastic. Well, a huge thank you for coming on the show today. But before I let you go, can you remind the listeners of where they can find out any more information or even contact a member of your team, just if they've got any more questions based on our conversation today?
Yeah, definitely. The website's a great place to start. We've got some good blog posts there on not just our software, but really the industry in general. And then we've got some white papers and case studies. So if someone's really trying to think about, okay, how can we bring data into our department, or if they're already on another system and they think, okay, I want something that's maybe not as clunky or a little easier to use or fits our model better, you can check out the website. It's SimpleLegal.com. And again, the blog is a great place to go to get a lot of really good insights. And so, would love to chat with anyone, even if they're not like actively buying. The legal space is just fantastic. And it's one we love to be in.
Absolutely. And I don't think when you think of the legal industry, you don't think of how technology is being used to centralize functions and data to streamline and empower legal teams to make smarter business decisions. And that's something that you've really opened my eyes up today. So a big thank you for coming on today and sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
I love how their story began when facing frustration with their own existing legal software tools. Sure, they did their job, but they were far too cumbersome. And when one of their customers likes to use the term clunky to describe their former solution, it was clear they had to do something, because in the Facebook era, enterprise software shouldn't be clunky. But then law firms advised that they didn't like their e-billing software either. To them, it's just one more time-consuming process that has nothing to do with actually taking care of their clients. But they wanted law firms to like their software, and as a result, SimpleLegal was born. I think it's great how the team believes that software as a service is fundamentally no different than traditional enterprise software. And there's a great point there that SaaS isn't just about no software installation required. After all, what good is no installation if configuration of an application is still difficult? User setup, law firm registration, and the seamless endless list of options, they're the real problem. But as always, I want to throw this back out to everyone listening. Do you work in a legal profession? Is tech making a real impact? What kind of disruption are you witnessing in the legal industry? So wherever in the world you're listening to this, I ask you now to pull out your phone and tweet me at Neil C. Hughes, or send me a quick email to techblogwriter@outlook.com, because I generally want to hear your opinions on how tech is affecting the world of legal. As always, a warm thank you for choosing to listen to this tech podcast. It's a pleasure to serve you, and I sincerely hope that you return for tomorrow's episode, because we've got another great guest lined up. But until then, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.